Okay.
And so it begins.
All right. Recording, yeah?
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Finishing the Bottle here at Midnight Movie Distillery. I am one of your hosts, Logan Lynch.
I'm another one of your hosts,
Wait for it.
Warwick Black. Oh, Warwick Black.
Wow. And you were genuinely surprised that you said
That was not intentional, but that was the funniest thing ever.
Warwick Price.
We
And
have not been drinking
And I'm
at
Lon
all.
Lynch.
At
or
all.
Lon Price.
Lon Lynch? That's a good
I don't
name,
know who the
actually.
hell
I like that.
am.
He's long black.
That's
So
hilarious.
what did we discuss so far in our previous episodes? We had...
Well, we should say this is the Finishing the Bottle episode.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah. Wow,
This is-
somebody's not paying attention.
He's drunk. So this is the
So-
finishing the bottle.
Just for to bring Warwick up to speed.
Did you really
yes,
say
I
that?
did. Yes. So this is not
Wow.
So
Crazy.
just for Warwick's sake, what was it? Finishing the bottle. All right. Anyway, in finishing the bottle, what we do is we've had a few bottles that we've been discussing over the last few weeks, and we laugh because it's kind of funny. Wait, there we go. That might help so we can see.
No,
the
now you
other
can't
one.
see it at all.
Yeah. What?
Oh, that's no. I guess you
I'm
can.
looking at the
Oh,
bottles
it's
right
his
now.
water. You can't see.
There you go.
All right.
Anywho, so we've had our lovely 10. Oh wait.
Well, we started with this.
We
one.
started with the
We started with
Contradiction
the
Bourbon.
contradiction with the lovely elephant on the. Is that the world? I believe, or is
Yeah,
it barrel? I'm
barrel.
sorry, it's a barrel.
Yeah.
And then we had the
Well, I guess we started this one.
yeah
Because we did a single review of this one, the Port Charlotte. A non-movie
right, that's right.
pairing
correct
with Port Charlotte. Then we went to Contradiction.
contradiction, which was tied to candy corn.
Candy Corn, the movie Candy Corn.
Dreadful movie.
Dreadful bourbon.
I think he liked it. And then we moved
it a
on to
4.7.
another film called Pumpkinhead, and we also tied that into the
Peat
Peat Monster. Okay, so in this finishing the bottle, did you guys introduce yourself? I don't even fucking know. Now
Yeah, we
I got
did, because he said he
totally
was
sidetracked.
Warwick Black.
So all right,
We did, because he said he was Warwick
yeah,
Black.
that is true. But
Somebody's
like properly,
drunk.
do we want to retry that?
No, we don't.
no.
We're going to do this. We're going to take
So,
away this
we're gonna-
contradiction because it's swill.
It's a
So-
contradiction in whiskey.
Basically, let's let
These
people know.
two.
So we try to literally sometimes finish the bottle of what we started. And honestly, I'm going to say this right now. This is one of the hardest FTBs we've had.
And let me start by saying, when we did the first episode that was a bourbon review only, which was the Port Charlotte. The Port Charlotte bottle is now just about half full.
Before we even get to the finishing the bottle episode.
Then we did an episode with swill, kind of tainted everybody. And then we went to this, which was also
we'll call that a
phenomenal.
palate cleanser.
And this one is still, I'd say, about
That's it.
2/3 of the way full.
Yeah.
Would you agree? Because by that time we've had some bourbon, so we're like, okay. But these are both heavily peated scotches.
Correct.
They're both
I'm not a Scotch
the
guy.
same price. They're both the same sort of profile.
But we are going to decide a winner today, are we not?
Ooh.
I think we should. That should be
let's do it.
our
Let's do it.
main goal by the end of this.
Let's do it. We
episode.
rated it differently, so
I
we
say,
might have.
say now, technically, haven't we already decided a winner because of
It's-
our rating?
It's quite
No,
possible. It's
no.
quite
I'm
possible.
saying now we're going to have a back-to-back. That's why we have two.
we did.
glasses here.
We're gonna
We're going two
compare
glasses.
them. We're gonna pit them.
Because we want this side by side to figure out who the true winner of this would be. Because they're too close in price.
Yeah.
They're too close in, I don't want to say flavor, but they're too close
Well,
in
the profile, the whole peat
profile.
thing.
So I think this is going to be a good one. This is going to be
Okay.
a battle royale.
Let's break it down, man.
So now, we have comparisons to the alcohol side.
Yeah, I'll let you
Do you
pour
feel
your-
there was comparisons between the movies between
Absolutely.
Pumpkinhead and Candy Corn?
Absolutely, but here's the thing: is Candy Corn was not a good movie necessarily. It was okay.
That's
But-
what-
whoa!
That was a big.
That's what I was
That was a
saying.
Peat Monster
Whoa,
pour.
Logan's
That was a
right.
monster pour for Peat Monster.
But
Oops.
But it was not a bad movie. It wasn't a good movie, but it was not a bad movie.
Sure.
Pumpkinhead was a phenomenal movie, one of the best ever. See, that's how you do it.
Do you think in time though that Candy Corn could get to?
No,
Hell no.
no. But so here's the thing.
I wasn't asking you.
Here's the similarities, and we kind of pointed this out a little bit in one of the episodes.
Sure.
Similarities being a creature being is brought back from the dead in order to seek vengeance for a wrongful
Through
death.
some supernatural
Correct.
means.
For a wrongful death. One case it's Pumpkinhead, an excellent monster, great concept, and the other it's a guy who puts a pumpkin on his head and eats candy corn. So there's a huge difference in quality of telling that story, but at the same time, they have a similar story.
Sure.
So one just does it a lot better than the other.
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen? I believe it's called Grave Encounters.
No.
Doesn't
It
sound
was
familiar.
Do you guys remember the 8 films series? Do you remember that whole thing?
8 films.
8 films to
series?
die for is what it was called.
Oh, I do
So
remember the series, but I don't
this
remember
is
all the
very
films.
upsetting to me because this became a big thing for me, and they stopped doing it. But
Yeah.
for a few years, you would have films that they would show that were not high budget, but enough to just get people to come out to the theaters, and they would call them 8 films to die for, and they would show them.
Yeah, I remember because they could put those on VHS.
There was a
and they were
movie
lot of
called Grave Encounters that they literally, I kid you not, ripped off Pumpkinhead. Like the character, the scary character. Looked
I will
just
beat
like
them with an inch of their
So,
life.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing because it actually was a decent movie until about 3/4 of the way in. But it was just something to me while watching Pumpkinhead. I go, God, that was like, and I remember watching Grave Encounters and going, holy shit, that totally reminds me of Pumpkinhead. While watching it. So we may have to do a series.
Were those typically, you said it, but like, were those typically, straight to VHS?
No, they actually showed them in the theaters, and it was only a set time. Like they would say, these 2 weekends, these are only going to be in the theaters.
So there was a series that was out for a while called Masters of Horror.
Yes.
You guys remember that one?
Yep.
So that was more like a straight to DVD kind of thing because famous directors doing shorts,
Sure.
short movies and stuff like that. You're not talking something like that.
It was more than that. They actually showed them in the theaters.
Yeah, but a full
For
feature, full length feature.
full length film that they showed in the theaters, and I was.
Because I remember the series name, but I don't remember any of the movies from 8 Films to Die For.
I want to say it was called Grave Encounters. I could be wrong.
Grave
but-
Encounters was one of the movies to die for, though,
Oh my
right?
God,
It wasn't.
2011. Holy
That's
shit.
way too late.
I am so old. Yeah, I think that was it. Let me see.
There's some scotch
Yeah,
in
that
front of
was
me, and
it.
I kind of want to start drinking it.
I
Can
know.
we
So
start drinking
I've
it?
already drank
While we're
some
thinking of
of
this, but anyway, not to go off topic, but in that, I should.
try to drink them at the same time.
Different nostrils. Come on.
Oh wait, maybe that's not the same
One looks way better than the other.
one. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I was incorrect. It was Grave Dancers, is what the name.
Oh, I never heard of Grave Dancer.
Whoa. Okay.
That doesn't
Shit.
sound like very good.
No.
Shut the front door. The Grave Dancers. Oh my God, 2006. Holy shit, that was almost 20 years ago. Yes, because this had this guy in it from.
Oh,
Yeah,
Dominic.
yeah, I
Yes.
know him.
Purcell. And I can see if I can find a photo from it, but I shit you not, it was almost a spitting image.
That doesn't look like Pumpkinhead
No,
to
no,
me.
no. Hold on.
And for those of you who are listening and not watching,
Just look it up yourself.
Logan's got some super boring segment going on.
There. Does that not? Hey, that was one of the characters in the movie.
I don't see a pumpkin.
Yeah,
head,
suck
but-
it.
Looks like right.
Anyway, I don't know if that's the alcohol
That look-
talking, but
maybe that looks like the dwarf from Candy Corn.
Little person.
candy cane.
Can you really not say dwarf?
I don't.
You
I
can't
don't
say
know.
dwarf. You can't say shit anymore. So
you can say the
honestly,
word
we have a
shit.
podcast. So fuck anybody and just say whatever the hell you feel like.
That's
you call
true.
them midget. You call them a little person. You call
That's
them the
true.
short, tall people. I don't know
Yeah.
where short, tall came from, but whatever.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
think-
so Grave
wa- wa-
Dancers.
wa-
I'm
wa-
sorry.
Wasn't that the character from Indiana Jones and the
Short
round.
tall?
Short
Short
round.
round.
Short
Sorry,
round.
I always
Not
get
short,
those,
tall,
round.
short and round.
I always get those confused.
Yeah,
All right. Let's,
that's what I feel like right now.
Yeah. Short and round,
I'm just
or just
I'm in
confused?
shape. It's just round is the problem.
all right. I'm jumping into this.
All right,
the
so
Scotch here.
yeah, let's. I
And let me
want
tell you
this to.
something.
So this is going to be the end all be all, and I'm going to tell you right now.
Start the nose.
I might not do it right this second, but this is gonna. I'm going to tell you. This is going to decide which one of these I buy.
Okay. Okay.
So how we end up, like, as far as all three of us, whatever we decide. So if it's 2-1,
Let-
we
let
will.
me-
He's going each nostril.
Let me
Dude,
start
you
off
have
by
a good
saying.
idea. What if we combine them? It's a fucking blend at that point, right?
Let me start off by
All
saying.
right, all right.
Color wise, I think Port Charlotte wins. It looks
Okay.
a lot more appealing of a color.
Yeah.
However, the smell, the nose, to me, Peat Monster has a better smell, much better on the nose of that peat.
Really?
Yeah, you don't
See,
think so?
On the nose, I go more Port Charlotte.
Color?
Color, to me, I'm probably gonna go.
Port Charlotte.
So
I might go Port Charlotte on that.
So there is no regulation in Scotland as far as the additives for color, and a lot of Scotches do color their Scotch. In America, they do
Does
have the
Scotch
whole thing. if
actually
it's
have a color of
straight-
its own though?
Well, sure, it's the wood. It's the
But
wood
like,
that they
so
use.
then, but that's what I mean is, so like coming out, you could end up. This could be no colors additive. Added.
Yeah, both of them. Both of them. Both of them could be, or Port Charlotte looks darker because they add some color. I would doubt if they added color to the peat.
Does the color though change the color additive? Does that change the flavor? in any
No,
way?
they say it doesn't. It's a specific coloring that's not supposed to change.
But is this, or could it be something like the Skittles thing, where all the Skittles colors are the exact same
Same
flavor,
flavor, they just-
but
your mind
you just
thinks
in your
that.
head you're going, that's yellow, so that's got to taste
Lemony.
lemon.
First of all, the reason they add color to scotches or whiskeys in general is
'Cause they're
because
fucking
it's
assholes.
more appealing of a color.
Right.
yeah, screw that.
Less urine looking.
They're like, we
Right.
want more urine.
But
we
as
want
we-
more blood in your urine.
As we talked off camera too, there's some Japanese whiskey that we've had that was very disgusting color that tasted really good.
yeah.
So it's
Well,
hard
all
to say, but I'm just saying that this could have a color additive. We don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
And that's what I like about this, though, is that this is honestly like a true thing for me, like where I will seriously consider
Well, that sounded like
popping
a
a cap at
gunshot.
Sancho. Anyway,
We're not in Chicago.
Oh, why am I slumping over now?
That is a gun.
Are you serious?
That is not a firecracker. That was doom doom doom. That was.
Okay, do we want to go live?
Let's do a pause on that one.
We're gonna look outside because it sounded like gunshots.
I really hope that.
It's okay. Don't worry about that. Just keep looking. Meanwhile, I'll entertain you. Da 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 da.
If it's gunshots, I don't see any.
Nobody's firing anything up here. We're on the second floor, so. Yeah, but with the gunshot sounding firecracker thing.
Go live.
Anyway,
Fun
yeah,
in St. Charles.
I think as we've established, I think that the Port Charlotte definitely has a better look to it.
Yep,
Um,
agreed. But I like the smell better of the Peat Monster.
Well, and I do think it's funny, and we've talked about this in previous episodes, but I think it's funny how the smell of the Port Charlotte when we first smelt it was very distinctive. But
Because it was a heavy peat, but now we compared it to another heavy peat.
right, and but I agree. I think that the Peat Monster has a way stronger smell to it.
All right. So far to me, color, 1 point to Charlotte.
Okay.
Smell, 1
Now-
point to Monster.
But what are you looking for in a color? Are you
In a
looking?
color?
Are you
Just which
looking
one's
more
more
for
appealing.
a darker?
Yeah,
Sure.
I think typically a more pleasant.
If it doesn't look like urine.
I
Not
think
that
if
that's
your
that urine-y,
brain
but-
is more accustomed when you think about whiskey for a browner color.
Really?
Auburn, sort of
So,
amber color. an
This is
amber
coming
color.
from I'm not a wine connoisseur in any way, shape, or form, but
Well, that's good because this isn't wine.
I know. But for
Lucky
me,
for us.
to me, it's looking at these two, I'm leaning more towards the Peat Monster
Of color?
of color.
For color.
Of
Okay,
color.
why?
And the reason
We're
being
not
is
saying you're
it's
wrong, I'm just saying
less,
why.
It's less. It's more of, to me. This is more of a. It's not. It doesn't look. And this is going to sound bad because I don't feel that this way. But just
Spit it out, man.
It's less fake looking. This to me seems more like it's trying to be a darker color. I don't know if that's just my
Holy
naivete.
shit. Are you like really going into that?
The only reason is because to me, this looks like, I ran about 6 miles with no water, and this is my urine.
Shit.
This looks like I'm still doing good. You know, I mean,
My doctor would be proud of me.
yeah, my doctor might go, you might need a little more water, but you're okay.
No,
but
that means you've been drinking lots of water.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Listen.
You're okay, but you still need a little more because honestly, your urine should be not colorful.
Listen,
to be honest. But.
what if you want to explain away the color of the Scotch based on urine and your own?
But that's where I'm saying
hydration.
I don't
That's
know
fine.
Scotch coloring, so to me,
But you
a
know
darker
whiskey.
color is scarier.
But you know whiskey. Do you like the dark, rich-looking whiskeys, or
honestly,
do you like the
and
pale?
you're probably gonna smack me for this, but
I might.
I don't care about color. I am all
well,
about.
you're sure digging into it deep for a guy who doesn't care about
Well,
the
but
color.
I'm saying, on the whiskey side, this is Scotch. This is a whole different ballgame to
How
me.
is it? They're both whiskeys. Okay, all right. Let's move on.
And now we hear
we've spent
police?
like 30 minutes
Holy
on
fuck,
color.
Mark, this is fun. Anyway,
Downtown St. Charles.
yeah, that's interesting. So no, I feel like that, and that's the thing is, to me, color should not matter. Like this could be crystal clear for both of these, and I could care less. Like that doesn't add flavor to me, and that's where I was saying it's not
You're right.
like.
You're right.
It
It's not
doesn't-
doesn't
but-
add
but-
flavor.
But it's a perception thing.
It's a
Correct.
perception thing.
You know,
Correct.
and to the point that we've actually talked about before. It's the reason why they add coloring is because people have a perception that Scotch whiskies or whatever should have a darker hue to them than is naturally the color that comes out of the barrel.
Because what they assume is the richer the color means the more flavor that it
Right.
has. It's just a common perception because you think it soaks more out of the wood or whatever the case is, but a richer, darker color seems more flavorful. A pale color seems paler in
Unaged?
flavor.
Could I say that unaged? Like it
Sure,
would be
sure. Lighter color. could-
less aged. I should.
you
say
would assume
unaged,
so
less
only
aged.
because of the fact that the longer it ages, the more flavor it soaks out of the wood, aka
The
meaning
darker.
you'd get more flavor out of the wood. But that's not always true, but still, that's what people perceive.
Now, but how does the smoky peat portion? Because we've got double
that's
peated or
before
whatever.
you get to the mash.
So okay, so that should not play
That
a
has
role in the
nothing to do
color.
with the
the
color.
grain itself.
Okay.
Correct. Correct.
But like to that point, it's like I know we've already established that we don't really know the age of this, but I think the reality of the fact is even if we knew what the age was, the difference between 5 years and 50 years on this would not make this like as brown as the Port Charlotte.
Sure.
In other words, it's the only way you get that brown is because of additives to the mix.
Okay.
But
Yeah, no, like I said, this is honestly one of the toughest, and I give props to Lon on this one because this is one of the toughest.
It just
Like
it's because they're
to
both
narrow
the
it down. I
same
mean, obviously,
kind of
conviction
Scotch.
it was easy enough to take out of it, but son of a bit, like I honestly don't know. Like if I had to choose, so I go based on the fact of if I'm buying a gift for somebody, what would I buy them between these two? And because obviously they're the same price, well, it's like shit. Usually, okay, one's $20 more than the other. Like, oh, that's
Right.
easy. This is hard. These
Yeah,
two
they're the
are the
same price, same style.
same style. Obviously, the coloring's different and stuff like that. But to me, I'm like, shit. What do I do? Do I go with the Port Charlotte, which I'm a big fan of, but now that's my taste, or do I lean more towards the Port Monster, which I know there's even a better version out there of that I've had, and then actually maybe still settle for that? That's a tough
well,
that's a tough
I think
decision right now.
to be honest, like to the same.
It sounds, and I say settling, and it sounds so bad, but
But
that's
to
not
the
what I
same
mean.
conversation that we had, when we were actually doing the review for this as part of Pumpkinhead, I think, as Lon said, I think in reality, probably the better way to look at it is this as a $60 bottle of Scotch. Sorry, let me reverse it. How much better is the $170 bottle of the cask strength? Yeah, is that 3 times better?
Well,
Okay.
technically, it would only 2 1/4 better. But yeah,
Right.
It's-
Somebody's a fucking math genius over here.
But all I'm trying to say is the fact that it's like I think we should just be.
Am I living? You're saying I'm focusing a little too much on what's above that.
correct.
Right.
You're looking at this and saying, well, this is less than the cast
But it's
strength
still.
one.
But see, that's what I mean. Is it's still on par with the Port Charlotte, and that's where it's hard. Is I would love to say it's nothing compared to the cask version. I wouldn't even want that. Let's go with the Port Charlotte.
okay,
but I
so-
can't do that.
So
It's-
not that I'm vaguely trying to say that my palate is the palate that everyone should follow, but like to me, like my logic into my rating of a 4 for the Port Charlotte or a 4.1 for the Peat Monster, to me is a perfect example of I drank this and went, oh my god, this is really really good. I love this, love the flavor. But when I drank the Peat Monster, I realized that actually the extra smokiness of this I didn't like quite as much.
Oh, okay.
And so that's why I gave this the 0.1
Gotcha.
to make, for me, this one out over this.
Okay.
I would buy either of them, but if I had to pick one,
Let me
be
point
that.
something out with the peat monster,
Okay.
because we've talked about the peat being overwhelming and the smoke being very light. In peat monster, in the description in the back, every time they mention peat, they mention smoke. They say a peat smoky Scotch, unlike any other peat smoky single malt Scotch. Blend of blah blah blah. This malt whiskey brimming with a peat smoke. They say peat every time they mention peat. They mention smoke.
Interesting. Okay.
And I taste less smoke in this
Yes.
than
Agreed.
that, absolutely.
Completely
than
agreed.
this.
absolutely.
Yet I taste more peat in this than this. So it's very interesting because let's face it, we're talking peat is the substrate of the smoke. This is the
Right.
charcoal to create the smoke.
Sure.
You almost can't have the peat without the smoke. In fact, when I say almost, you really can't have the peat without the
Because
smoke.
that
and
is
you
the
can't have
flavor.
smoke without
I mean,
peat.
flavor. I mean,
That's what's making the
Right.
smoke. So it's very difficult to separate those two. But they say heavily peated, not heavily smoked.
for this one, yeah.
For either one of them, they don't say heavily smoked. They say peat monster, not smoke monster. Heavily peated, not heavily smoked. So it's hard to say, but trying to taste them side by side, I gotta say, I think I put the peat monster 1 point ahead of this.
Really?
Of the
Okay.
Yeah,
Charlotte.
Okay.
I agree.
Really? Okay.
But
Taste them side by side.
So-
and give me your thoughts, man.
So I'm gonna be the odd man out on this. I did have them side by side.
yeah, I'm still.
I sipped them,
Mhm.
and I think I prefer the smoke
the
of the Port Charlotte.
Port Charlotte. You're. I
And this is
can't say you're
very,
wrong.
I'm dead serious. Like, this is honestly one of the hardest
Sure.
decisions I've had to make, and and this is me now, but like maybe 20 minutes from now, I'd like to kind of revamp and kind of go back and see, but I might not actually.
there's bits in the bottom of my
Oh,
mouth.
You got bits in the bottom
Yeah.
of yours?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
it's a panther. No, but I may go. Okay, you know what? I don't see myself doing this, but maybe okay, the smoke is too much. I'm gonna go back to the peat monster, but which is really weird for me because, like I said, that cask of that peat monster, I didn't think anything topped what we had while we were there
Yeah.
at the show.
I agree with that. But that was
And-
a cask strength. So
Correct.
So to me,
but we had cask strengths of other things.
yes,
correct?
yes, yes. So cask strength doesn't always work in a whiskey's favor, because with any distiller, you figure out what's the best.
Son of a bitch, this is hard. This is fucking hard.
Yeah. What's the best strength for that flavor profile? So in other words, there might be some, like even Whiskey Tribe. We talked about Whiskey Tribe a lot. Whiskey Tribe does this too, where they'll distill something stupid like Mars bars, and Does It Distill was a series they had, and they put all out there, but they take them at from 90 proof down to 20 proof. Right? And they'll taste them and they'll find out which one it works with. Like, oh, it's terrible, terrible, terrible. Hey, this works. Terrible, terrible, terrible. I'm like, okay, so the proof for this is 65%, whatever.
Sure.
So different things work better at different proofs. Smoke Monster, Peat Monster.
Not that we're helping their marketing, but son of a bitch, they could go that route.
They could,
right?
but the point is, they went with Peat Monster, but the beauty of Peat Monster was the cask strength.
Yeah.
That was the magic distillation. That was the magic dilution.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. For that flavor profile, it was magical.
That's still and that's what's so hard is Peat Monster is still good. I would recommend it.
This is
Like,
totally worth
both
$70.
need
Every
recommendations.
dollar, worth every dollar.
But
Both of them are.
So this kind of goes again back to that topic of in a perfect world. I think it's one of these things where it'd be great to be able to have the cask strength one to try again.
You guys are going to make me buy it, aren't you?
or if Peat Monster wants to reach out to us, I mean, there's always that possibility.
I don't know. They're from Scotland, so they don't care
50
about
followers.
They probably don't care
Pissant
about us,
Americans.
our 50 subscribers.
They do care.
But I mean, it's always one of those things where, I think it's again back to the very thing I said before. It's like, to me, this was amazing.
Yeah.
Until I had this.
Right?
But
it's amazing.
It's
Ish.
if you have the cask strength next to that.
Yeah.
Would you really be able to tell the difference?
And what's the SC version of the Port Charlotte? Is that the cask strength?
They do have.
They
a
just
cask
spelled it
strength.
backwards.
They do have a cask
SC
strength.
versus CS.
What?
South Carolina.
SC
What?
versus CS. All right.
At least I thought.
No,
they had a cask
but
strength.
that's
Maybe
what I'm
they
saying is, I mean that could be a future episode. But yeah, if we could, man, I'm still leaning towards the Port Charlotte.
That's fine. I can't say you're wrong with that because
and that's
they're
what's
so
great
close.
is like
I could have gone that way too.
I'm even shocked myself. I was thinking this is going to be fucking Port Monster no matter what. Like I don't care if it's cask strength.
You said Port Monster, by the way. I'm just saying you combined Port Charlotte and Peat Monster into one.
Let's do a blend.
one
Fuck it. We're on
Scotch.
something here.
I'm gonna do that. I think when I get low enough on the two of these, I'll mix them.
Peat Monster. Anyway, so yeah, but Peat Monster, I thought was going to be I'm not. It wasn't going to be a landslide. I thought it was going to be close, but I'm kind of shocked that I'm leaning more towards the Port Charlotte.
Really, I'm not shocked at all because they're so close in
but
profile and everything else.
So then that makes
price.
me wonder: am I missing something? And that's why I'm going to continue to do this.
You're gonna
Drink the
brain
two of them
cells.
side by side.
Yeah, you're gonna
they're
beat
beyond
yourself
the brain
up.
cells.
You're gonna beat yourself up.
At the end, I'm just going to go Port Charlotte. Anyway, but. So
I'll give you this. Let me help you on this.
Okay.
I agree with you to a certain extent on some of the points with Port Charlotte. Port Charlotte is a little bit more of a robust profile, a deeper, richer, complex profile.
Sure.
Whereas Peat Monster is a little bit more of like, you're looking for peat, let me smack you in the face with it. Which isn't bad because that's what I'm looking for. So
But it's a good peat, right?
Right,
Like,
because I do like this better than Port Charlotte. But when I go back to Port Charlotte, I'm like, well, this is a lot richer and robust.
I agree 100%. I would absolutely say that this is a richer flavor. However, on a day-to-day basis, I think I would pick the Peat Monster over the Port Charlotte.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you,
Yeah.
I almost agree with you. The only thing that's pushing me towards the Port Charlotte is the burn. I still get the burn even after
From Peat
we've had
Monster.
No, from Port Charlotte.
Oh, because you like the burn.
Yes.
You're into the burn.
Yes.
So okay.
So
you
for
want
some
more
reason, the
burn.
Port Charlotte burn is just enough, even after multiple sips, multiple technically glasses of it. I think that's what's keeping me attached to that.
I will say that to me, who like the smooth over the burn, both of these are pretty freaking smooth.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
I don't get much burn off.
It's
of either
it's
of
not
them.
a ton of burn, but it's enough where I'm like, yeah.
But see,
Okay.
but,
You know
but-
what you're
but-
doing.
But
Okay.
are you sure that's a burn, or is that the smoke that you're picking up on?
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
to me,
See,
like,
now that you say that, yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
because to me, like, these are both incredibly smooth.
No, I get that. I totally
don't
relate to
get-
that.
I don't get burn.
Yeah, but that
I
smoke,
still
though.
get the smoke.
I would say Port Charlotte is smokier than
absolutely
Peat Monster for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that could be it. That's the richness that we're calling richness. He's calling burn.
Right.
Warwick pulls out that gem.
And this is the funny
What
thing
can I
is,
say?
I can tell you right now, even after.
Can you tell us right now?
Multiple.
Can you
drinks.
tell us
No, I'll tell you
before?
later. No, multiple drinks. Like, I could confuse these two. You could swap them out, but I can tell obviously that this is Port Charlotte, and that this is Peat Monster.
But that's easy because of the color.
No. But also the burn from this one.
You're talking blind taste test, maybe.
Correct.
You're not
Yeah, like
looking
if
at the
somebody
color.
were to hand this
'Cause
to
the
me,
color's pretty
I would
distinctively
definitely
different.
go, ooh, burn. Here,
Yeah, okay.
that's what
All
I'm
right.
leaning towards.
Okay.
So,
All right.
not saying I'm right.
All right.
But each person, but I am.
Listen.
Anyway,
I'm going for the.
so
I'm
okay,
going
so
for the
he's going to
blend.
do a blend. I thought about doing this. This is kind of giving me a half a chub right now.
Okay, I'm trying.
Just don't worry about that. Just turn your head.
You're making this seem so
Don't hear
dirty.
the- You don't hear the thudding,
And you dribbled.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to make it even amount because I had more
Even
of the port,
Stevens.
more of the.
Oh my god! If
Peat Monster.
this, oh my god! If this is, then we were making Port Monster. Fuck yeah! I had an idea. He's stealing my idea.
So the smell is more faint.
Okay.
Really?
Which
You-
smell?
You would think you'd still smell this.
I that's what I thought too. But this one smells more potent than that to me. But
Really?
now I have
Okay.
less smell. But all right, let me try.
So while he's sipping that, we still choose. I think all of us still choose Pumpkinhead over.
Every fucking
Candy
day
corn.
in the week.
That's yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh, did we just create something?
That's not bad. That's
Okay, I'm gonna say I was the first to call it Port Monster.
that's
All right, so shit. All right.
I was
Oh
about-
my god, if this is like
I will
the
say
ultimate,
it almost gets a little hotter,
Ooh, see,
but
hotter
maybe
and
that could be
younger.
smokier.
Now, did you stir it all? Or did you-
Of course, yeah, I
Okay.
definitely swished it a bit.
Fuck me.
I
If
swished
this is
it a bit.
if this is like the ultimate, then
It's-
fuck, you're gonna. My wife's gonna
I
kill me
I
for
don't know if it's any
$140.
better than any one of the other on their own.
Yeah. So to me,
It's not better.
what I'm tasting
But now,
is Port Charlotte.
but now,
You might have had
here's
more
my
Port
question
Charlotte
though:
than
if we
Peat
were to
Monster.
take those two, meld them together, and call it Port Monster,
Yeah.
could we do that?
Well, of course we could, but that
Could we sell that?
Well, we'd be taking two name brands and
Yeah,
melding
and then sell
their
it for
names.
$110. Okay, you got a laugh out of that one. Now, smell wise,
See, all right. So as I think this is good. Mix them together. I'd rather have that on its own or that on its own.
I agree, because I think you've lost like truly
Their
like,
nuances.
Like all I taste actually
Port Charlotte.
is Port Charlotte.
I do taste the more flavor, deep robustness of Port Charlotte.
no, I'm totally disagreeing with you guys. The two together,
Yeah.
it's oh my god, the Port Monster evens out that burn, so it's not even like a full burn. It's just enough to go. Oh yeah, I'm still here. Oh,
Wow.
wow, I'm very happy.
I am
right now.
enjoying watching you enjoy
this
Scotch.
is
Yeah.
honestly, this is
it's almost orgasmic.
Well, look at him.
I'm.
I know.
You're gonna have to wash.
And
these
now
sheets
there's your
every
color.
tablecloth.
There's your color. What do you think of that fucking?
Yeah, that's good color.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Of
course.
So now go fuck yourself. No, but no. Honestly though, this is
So
this
all
is
you
that
need,
burn. So like the burn is a little bit more with the Port Charlotte
It
than
is, I
most
think
people
so.
would like. But
I think so.
this would be what people would just go.
I do
yeah.
think the Port Charlotte is a little bit heavier burn than the Compass than the Monster. You don't think there's
What are you trying to say?
a higher? There's more burn in the Port Charlotte than there is with the Peat Monster.
I thought you said compass.
Compass was the
Compass is the brand. That's the
Contradiction.
distiller's Compass
Oh
box.
no! What's Contradiction? What was that?
Contradiction was the other bourbon that we hated. This is
I know, but
Compass
what was that brand?
box.
I thought that was Compass. Sorry.
No.
I apologize, Compass.
No,
on that one.
Compass is the one who does
Oh,
Monster,
my
Peat
God,
Monster.
Yes.
No, seriously. Oh.
So,
I
and
feel like fucking Dr. Frankenstein right now.
so basically, you would
You feel like fucking Dr. Frankenstein?
it's like yeah, I'd fuck him for this.
So what you could do is you could either take
Pronounced Frankenstein.
two $70
Pronounced
$75 bottles and therefore pay $150, or for the price of another whore, you could just go get the Peat Monster cask strength.
See,
but you'd have more if you bought.
now if
But are they
if
as good
somebody
mixed
we
as they
know
are- as
had
the-
connections that could totally just buy us
As the Peat
cask one,
Monster cask
or
strength.
if Peat Monster really wanted to send us the cask strength to really push them over the edge to beat out Port Charlotte, just saying that would be awesome if they did something like that.
I would love that as well.
Oh, I'm
I
gonna
am
look up
I'm in heaven right now.
something. You like
Either
that.
way,
You liking
this is what I want to do this podcast for, is for that exact reason, where it's like I don't fucking know. Like I can't decide on these two, and putting them together gave me a half a shot.
Oh no, sorry.
Oh, you son of a bitch! Don't do that.
They have it on.
$740.
No, that's for a case.
Oh, jeez.
$130.
Oh, see,
That's
But-
way cheaper than 170.
But they're out of stock.
Oh.
of course.
Let me see where they are.
Any reps out there for either Port Charlotte?
Algonquin's got 4 bottles.
Are you shitting me? Algonquin? Really?
Downers Grove and Naperville, the only ones that have any. Oh no. Well, Chicago, of course.
Anything up by
I was
me?
in Naperville today. You should have told me.
Naperville, Downers. I didn't know until now. They got
Did
5 and 4
you,
bottles.
You combined 2, right? Warwick?
I would.
I did.
I would buy it $130 all day, fucking long
for the cask.
for the cast
God,
strength. Holy shiitake mushrooms! All right, so
I go back to the office next week.
Algonquin though. Right. Where's your office?
Naperville.
I will pitch in.
I even know where
With
the-
our
the
powers
Benny's is.
combined.
Everybody knows it's on golf. Everybody
Right.
knows where that Benny's is.
Wait,
No, in
It's on
Naperville.
golf in Naperville. It's on
Yeah.
Golf Road.
Where's golf in Naperville?
Golf Road.
Yeah, I know road. I mean, as opposed to like Space Highway.
is that near?
Is that Chompberg? Maybe it's Chompberg.
no, is
Yeah,
it?
there's
Is
no
that
golf
near?
in-
Golf is probably. I think golf is near.
Golf is in Schaumburg.
Yeah, but it goes all the way. I think.
Does it go all the way?
all the
Yeah,
way
it's,
to Naperville.
it's Chompberg. Sorry,
Chomp-
but they're out of
oh.
stock in the one in Chompberg.
Yeah, well, the jerk store called. I could possibly get to Schaumburg.
Downers Grove and Algonquin and Naperville. That's where you need to go.
Naperville.
And the other, it's in Chicago, South Loop, Chicago.
All right, so we're
Evanston,
talking
you're
about
too
something that
close to that.
doesn't relate to this. but
Glencoe. Nobody goes to Glencoe anymore. Joliet. Nobody wants to drive to Joliet. They'll get shot.
honestly, though, the combination of the two is just
Oakbrook, Orland
not
Park.
fair.
I don't like the combination.
You don't like the
No,
combination.
I gotta say I like the combination, but way less than the separately.
This is separate.
I like the separate ones better than the combination.
And again,
So
I,
the smell, though.
I
the
think
smell of the two.
Oh yeah,
I
no, it's
think
a good
that
smell.
it's. I agree with what you said. I mean, I think it's one of those things where I think I have lessened my. It's still ultimately a great Scotch, like the combined, but I've lessened my enjoyment by having the separate flavors.
You like the nuances
between the two,
Yeah, you
Okay.
like the nuances of each individual one because they're specific.
right?
Even though they're similar.
Well, and in all
they're
honesty, if you
specific
think about
to
it,
themselves.
if you bought each, you're looking at $140.
Yeah.
You can create your own combo, right?
I would.
Yeah, I would
and I bet
rather-
you the thing is you weren't specific in saying, well, I'm going to put half.
Yeah, I didn't measure.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
measured, you might hit that fucking percentage where
mine was roughly the same.
I don't know, but I don't. What I've got right now is.
But
oh god,
Logan,
this is to me.
Logan.
Yes.
if I'm going to spend that money, I'm going to go get a cast strength.
You're gonna go cask.
Peat Monster.
Check
Because
and see
that
if there's a
was
cask
so
of.
phenomenal.
See if there's a cask of Port
Port Charlotte.
Charlotte. Because if there is, Jesus, we got to try that. Now, next year, your ass needs to go to the.
I went last year.
2 years ago, I went and I was.
He did. He went before
You guys
went.
didn't invite
Yeah,
me the
you
year
went
before
too.
that, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, but
There's okay, so they don't have a cask strength, but they do have a 13-year-old
Is that the SC?
and an 8-year-old.
Oh, the SC is a 9-year.
SC's no, SC is from 2012, so technically it's only like 11 years old.
yeah, getting to
But
12.
it says 9 years old.
Well,
It-
maybe
you're
that-
right. It says 9-year-old, so I guess they bottled it at 9 years. So
sure.
why would they offer two different ones? That because this actually says peated at 8 years, so those are less than the 10-year.
That is true.
Why would they be more expensive? Because literally, this one's 150.
Does it depend
bucks
on the
for this.
blend then?
Yeah, it has to be like the rarity of.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, we did a couple barrels, so you got to pay for it.
Islay grown barley.
Why SC1?
Following previous released MRC01, MC01. I don't know what these fucking mean. All right. Well, not to make bad radio. I don't know.
Yeah.
But mixing together, I have to agree with Warwick. I would rather have them individually.
Yes.
But having said that, I would rather over both of these buy the by the cask strength Peat Monster.
All right, we're going
Cask
to ignore
strength.
the cast strength because
Okay.
this is honestly not helping me any. Which one would you guys decide to buy? If you walked into a store and you had to choose between
If I only
one of
had
the two.
if I only had $70 available to me, I'd buy the Peat Monster every day of the week.
Really?
Same here, Peat Monster. I'm also a Peat Monster.
Damn.
And you're a Port Charlotte. There's nothing wrong with
No,
that.
no,
These
no,
are
no.
that
I'm just
close.
the thing is I also want to make sure that I'm not overthinking it. But
I'm
it's
sure you
that
are,
it's
but-
that smoke and that burn that I get from the Port Charlotte that just keeps pulling me back towards it.
That's fine.
And
That's
even
great.
combining the two,
That's great
the first
even.
thing I get is that smoke and then that burn, and I'm like, okay. And then I get the port Peat Monster in there, but then I'm thinking, no, there's still that burn, and
There's
and it's
nothing
each
wrong with
sip.
that.
No, and
You're not
I'm not
wrong.
saying that I'm wrong or right, but if I had to choose, God, which is fucking like honestly, I did not think this. Everything that we've done up to this point, it's
Don't
like, no,
kill
this sucks.
yourself.
This is great.
Don't
this
beat
is kind of
yourself
good.
up.
This is not that. No, and yeah, that's how I feel. No, but it's
Something
just
that
so fucking hard. If you can only get access to Peat Monster, get it. If you can only get access to Port Charlotte, get it. If you can get access to either of the two, I would lean more towards Port Charlotte.
There you go. So if you want to go with a guy who knows nothing about Scotch,
Nope.
go with that.
Nope.
No, I'm
No,
totally
the other
joking.
two-
I'm totally joking.
Fuck those guys. No, but that's what I mean. Is
seriously,
like I
there
don't
is no
know.
wrong answer
Exactly.
with this. They're
and
both
you might,
phenomenal.
And that's the other thing is I'm afraid somebody's going to come back, and I would love it if somebody did this, messaged us and said, Port Charlotte's